Hey. So I'm going to try to make this as quick as possible and give you the nuts and bolts. I have been selling on eBay since February of this year. I have been thrifting and going to garage sales and Goodwills and all that stuff since 1989. So I've always shopped that way. And recently, when 2020 happened, I decided to add something else to my income, something that was easy. And it took me a second to figure out what it was. But the beginning of last year, I lost my final staff member. So I have been in the beauty industry over 30 years. I'm a licensed nail technician and esthetician. And so this is kind of my retirement because it's something I could do with the wheelchair, with the cane, honey. I could take my little dog and do all of that stuff. So I started reselling on eBay. Now, I had bought on eBay before, so I had an eBay account, and I had, purchased things on eBay before. Not a lot, but I had. So anyway, let's get to it. So on the 9th of July, 2023, I woke up to check to see if I had any sales or offers I needed to send, and my account was restricted. I pulled up my account. I saw I had no information on there. It was just the banner at the top. And I was like, oh my God, like, what is going on? So the night before, I had a sale. I sold a baseball hat. And so I sold the hat about 7 o'clock. I was out, and when I got home about 11:30, 12 o'clock, I printed my label, I packed the hat up, and I put it on by the front door so I could take it out the next morning, which would have been the 9th. So I had no clue what was going on. Now, like I said, I'm doing this part-time, ramping it up to be like, my full-time gig. So I had a super busy day at the spa. The week was kind of crazy. So I didn't really check my emails on Friday. So I just, was going around. On Saturday, no, you know what? On Friday, I was off. That was my 3-day weekend off. And so that was my eBay listing time. So I was listing a ton of stuff. I had gotten a lot of albums in, and I was listing albums. So I was just listing all day. And I didn't check any eBay messages on July the 8th, right? Or July the 7th. I forget which day that was, whatever. But that Friday, I didn't check any emails. Got up Saturday morning, was listing some more, did some stuff in the garden, came in, took a shower, went to this event I was going to, got the sale from the hat while I was at the event, printed everything off, put it by the door. So I'm noticing my account was restricted on the morning of the 9th, which would have been Sunday morning. And I'm thinking, oh my God, what to do? My heart just dropped. And so when I checked my emails, I'm looking at my eBay account, and I had an email that said, let me get this up real quick. Nope, not that one. Okay. It says, we restricted your account because we noticed activity that we believe is a risk to our community. This restriction means the following: your selling privileges are temporarily restricted. You won't be able to create new listings or revise any listings that are live on our site. You also can't register a new account at this time. If you are a seller participating in managed payments, we are withholding your future payouts. You'll start getting paid after you resolved your restriction and your account is reinstated. Some of your listings may have been removed. You'll find the details of any listings we remove below. Any fees paid or payable for listings are ended and or hidden from search will not be refunded or otherwise credited to your account. To help us remove the restriction on your account, you'll need to contact us from the email address associated with your previous eBay account to resolve any open issues. More specific details are provided below. Once you complete these requirements, reply to this email and we'll review your account. We may ask you to provide additional information during our review. And then they gave me a list of all the items they removed, which was my entire store. And then at the bottom, it says the safety of our community is a top priority for us. We appreciate your understanding in this matter. Thanks. So I responded and hold on just 1 second. I'm going to try to find this because it won't show me. The email after that, and so when I went to respond, it said MC011, we restricted your account. So at the top of the email, that's what came up. And I thought, okay, that MC011 didn't mean anything at all to me. But I typed, I am not aware of why this happened. I need to understand what I've done or listed that caused this. And so that's the email that I sent. So I got a response from the email that said, give us 24 to 48 hours to respond. So I'm like, okay. So as I'm sitting here and I'm looking around, I'm thinking, my account was restricted. How am I going to get rid of all of this stuff that I've bought? Right? It's like, oh my God. I'm like, okay. I can't list anything. I can't see anything on my account. And this was at like 7 o'clock in the morning. This is like 7 o'clock in the morning because I get up to walk my dog. So it's 7 o'clock in the morning. And I'm like, okay, so I go walk my dog. I'm thinking I'm like a zombie. I'm like literally a zombie because I have no idea why this happened or what happened. And I'm thinking, I've watched like Vero videos. I'm like, oh my God, did I post something? Because the hat that I sold was a McDonald's. It was a McDonald's hat and it had the M on it. And I was like, okay, was it that? So I'm looking up, on eBay. I'm like, nope, there's a whole bunch of McDonald's hat for sales and they say McDonald's in the listing. Okay. Was it something else on my site that I was selling? What was going on? So I was like, all right. I'm like, okay, let me call. So when I got back in, I made a phone call to eBay. I just looked on the eBay site and I went over to contact us and there was a number. So I just called the regular number and I spoke to a woman and she said, I see your account has been restricted. Do you have another eBay account? And I'm thinking, no, I don't have another eBay selling account. Selling account. No, I do not. She said, oh, okay. And then I thought, oh, I do have another account. I said, I do have another account. I said, but I haven't used that one since I started my seller's account. I said, I have a personal account, and this is the email address. But when I decided to start selling on eBay, I opened up a new account because sometimes I am very technically challenged. I'm left-handed. I think about things inside out, and sometimes it takes me a second. I'm a little ADD. I'm a little, I'm always moving and grooving. So sometimes it takes me a second to process information. I'm dyslexic. So I'm a visual learner. I'm not a read this and comprehend this kind of learner. That's just not the way that I learn. So I said, I couldn't figure out how to turn my personal account into a selling account. So I just opened up a new selling account, but I have not used that personal account since I opened my selling account February 2023. She said, oh, okay. She said, because we are detecting another email, another account. And sometimes our computers are smart, but they're not that smart. If they detect some kind of similarity or things that go together, then they will put a red flag up. I'm like, oh, okay. I'm like, yeah. And when I opened up my selling account, I completely forgot to delete that other account. So I said, we can go ahead and delete that other account because I don't even use it. She said, fine. She said, oh yeah, you'll probably, I said, but in order to get specific details on why my account was suspended, I'll have to wait. She said, yes, you'll have to wait 72 hours. I said, okay. So the email said 24 to 48 to get a response. And she said 72 hours. I'm like, okay, fine. I said, well, as I was talking to her, I was looking through my account. Oh, now I could actually see my account. It said 0 listings. And it had like 485 unsolds, and I could actually see the unsolds, but before I couldn't see anything at all on my account. I'm like, oh, I see my account. I said, oh, maybe it's, maybe it's up and going, or maybe it was an error. I'm like, oh, it must have been an error. It's still not like comprehending for me. I'm like, wait a minute, it's got to be an error because I didn't do anything wrong. Like, I'm an honest person. I didn't do anything wrong. I have a whole entire other business that I've had for over 30 years. So, I mean, it couldn't be me. Like, what's going on? So she said, oh, okay, well, you'll just have to wait for the response. And basically that's it. Do you have any other questions? No. She's like, well, I'm going to go ahead and cancel this account. You have until the 23rd of July in case you don't want to cancel it, but it is in the cancellation state. So that is my personal account was in cancellation state. I said, great, no problem. So I got off the phone with her. I was like, okay, well, let me go ahead and try to relist this. So I went on. I was like, okay, let me relist it. No, couldn't do nothing. My account was still frozen. It was still frozen. So I thought, okay, you've been saying that you were going to list on a different website. So put your focus into that. I was like this close to breaking down. And I said, girl, come on, get yourself together, boo. Get yourself together. Just refocus your energy. So I went on to another website and I started listing my things. And of course, that's a challenge because every website has its little idiosyncrasies and they're all a little different. So you got to figure out what their process is. So I started listing on Cherish, and that's a whole nother video. So trying to understand the process of how they list, how you have to, put the title in, how you do this and that and the other. So anyway, so I started doing that. I said, okay, I don't know how long this is going to take, but I need to get at least, 20 to 25 items on Cherish. With Cherish, you have to have so many items in order to get like 20%, to get 80% of your sale. So I said, okay, I got to get all these items listed. So I started listing stuff, listing. So that's what I did all day on Sunday. So, I took a break and I said, let me check my emails. And so I went back and I checked my email. So let's see. I missed the email. So on July the 8th, they sent me an initial email. Now, when I am working and doing my spa stuff, I don't always check the emails, but I do check to see if I have the notifications on for everything else. So as I'm going back through these emails, I'm like, oh my God, there's an email that was sent to me on the 8th of July, which, let me just get these dates together for y'all. The 8th of July would have been Saturday. So on Saturday, I was completely listing. This email came at 23:44, which is 12:44 in the afternoon. And I was deep into listing, and I was doing regular stuff. I was cleaning the spa. I was doing all, just doing stuff to get ready because I had an event that I was going to that night. So the email that I got that afternoon, it says, we wanted to let you know that your payouts have been placed on a temporary hold. This may have happened for a variety of reasons. To learn more, you can check out our payments on hold page. We understand it's important you receive your money quickly, so we're reviewing and verifying some of your account information, and we'll get back to you as soon as possible. Here's what you need to know. So it has a whole list of things like that. And I thought, okay, I missed that one. And I just, was still kind of numb, really trying to understand what was exactly going on with my account. So because I was able to print my label on the night of the 8th, and I got a sale on the night of the 8th, so it wouldn't have prompted me to think, there's an issue going on. Now, let me also say, I have a lot of long tail items because I'm more antique, vintage kind of seller. I sell more home decor, but I started getting into baseball hats and caps and albums and stuff like that. So I've been listing. I was like, okay, let me list that. I list by category. So I take all my albums. I list all my albums. I take, hats. I list like 30 hats, or as many hats as I have in the bundle of stuff. I'm like, let me get all these hats listed. So that's the way I do it. But I just didn't think to check it that day because I had a lot of stuff going on. So, I waited, and then I received an email that said, because remember, I responded to that other email, and it said respond from the original account. And I thought, well, I responded from the eBay account that has my new seller account. And then I went to I went to my email on my personal email and I responded there as well. But this is the message that I received. It says, this was on July the 10th. So July the 10th would have been Monday. So I had to wait until Monday. So July the 10th at 19:29, which is 7:29. No, yeah, 7:29 p.m. So it says, after a thorough review of your account, we show that your account was restricted or suspended because you have a previous account that's still suspended, or you are allowing a suspended member to use your account. Your account was found to be linked with or linked by a similar account information and or financial information and or account behavior to this a different particular account. They had the name, but I'm not going to tell you what the name is. After completing our additional review, eBay has decided to uphold its previous request for the resolution of the above related suspended account, and have determined that the link between the two accounts is sufficient. And when we suspend your original account, we will send you an email letting you know not to create a new account or use another member's account. We reserve the right to suspend existing accounts as well as new accounts opened by anyone in the same household of a suspended user or by other associates of a suspended user. However, we know you may not be aware of all eBay policies, and we want to work with you to avoid any misunderstanding. If you would like to have your account considered for reinstatement, then we require that you proceed with the appeals process previously outlined. Nothing was previously outlined. I could not find the appeals section on eBay. I told you I'm challenged. Could not find it. I'm like stressed out. I'm in zombie mode. I don't have any idea what's going on. Everything is like moving around in my head, and I'm just like, okay, I don't know. It's like, it may take up to, and they said some other stuff, and it's like, it may take up to 3 business days to review your account information. We appreciate your cooperation in resolving this matter as quickly as possible. We look forward to working with you and restoring your selling privileges. Okay, so I responded, I have not received an email explaining the appeals process, nor do I know blah, blah, blah account. If someone is using my information, it is without my knowledge. Has my account been hacked? Help me rectify this. What information do I need to prove I am not in violation? That's the email that I sent. So after I sent that email, I start pulling up YouTube videos on violations, and that MC011 started coming up. And so I started going through, listening. And I remember this one guy, he was like, I've had my account, restricted like numerous times. And he said, the best thing to do is to respond immediately. Like, as soon as you see something, respond immediately. So that's what I did. And I'm like, okay, great. I did that. Because if you don't respond immediately, they're going to think, oh, you're a scammer. You're not the person that you are. You are not the reseller. And so when I first opened my account, I had a couple of scammers try to get me. And one of the accounts they had hacked. And so each time I reported it, and I said, this person tried to get me to make a deal off of eBay and blah, 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 whatever. And so that made sense to me. I start watching some other people, and I'm like, oh, okay. I felt better because you always feel like it's an isolated incident and when things happen to you. But as I started searching, YouTube and all the eBay people, oh my God, it's happened to so many people. I'm restricted again. I'm restricted again. Restricted because of Levi's. I'm restricted because I did this. And then, of course, I went down to my Bolo Buddies girl. Hey, girl. Shout out to Bolo Buddies. I went out to her website. Her YouTube page, and I start watching everything and, looking at all the Veros. So I just pulled up and binge watched Vero videos. So, I'm trying to figure out was it something that was on my account? They're saying I have a different account. Okay, I know I have a different account, but I don't have a different selling account. So it's still not, clear to me if you have a personal account and you create a selling account, why that's an issue. If you're only buying on one and selling on the other. But I have been buying on my selling account to get my reviews up. And so but that's the account that I've just been using for everything. And so first, it was my fault for not deleting that other account, not closing out that other account before I opened a seller account, or even calling eBay saying, hey, how do I do this? So anyway, so that was my fault. And I'm continuing to do my listings on this other, website, fine tuning it, getting the pictures right. I had all my pictures, but I got to go through and find my pictures because I wanted to put items. The website is it's more for high-end designers and high-end decor and whatnot. So I'm not going to list a baseball hat, but I did list my I have these amazing candelabras. So I listed those and, just trying to figure out what I'm going to list. So that's what I was doing all day. Did that. So I was just trying to stay focused and not break down, but the wind had still been knocked out of me. The wind was knocked out of me. So I was like, all right, I called my son. I talked to my son. I talked to one of my friends. I was like, girl, they closed my account. Oh my God, blah, blah, blah. So I'm stressing out. So anyway, so I, the next morning, July the 10th, I get an email and it says, hello, Lisa. We appreciate the additional information that you provided. We recently reviewed your situation further, and in light of the additional details, eBay has reinstated your account. Okay. To help us ensure your future trading success, we strongly encourage you to ship items in a timely manner. We would also like to take this opportunity to encourage you to take extra care in accurately and thoroughly describing the value and condition of the items you sell on eBay. By taking a few extra moments to ensure that you are delivering the best customer service possible to your buyers, you greatly increase the chances of having a successful eBay business and avoiding any future issues that may arise. I have a 100% feedback rating. I'm still new, so I'm like 4 months in. I'm an above average seller. I've only sold 46 items. I ship everything out immediately. I'm not somebody who, so let me just say, as soon as I sell an item, I print out my shipping label and I pack it up, and I will take it to the post office the same day. And if not the same day, the next day, regardless of how many I have. So I have a morning drop and then I do a nighttime drop. If I have items that I have to drop off, it's the same day. Sometimes I'll go to the post office at 10 o'clock because I have a post office that actually has a kiosk. So I could put in the kiosk and print out my receipt. So if you receive one of these restricted accounts, respond immediately. diversify your selling, and stay calm. Also, make sure you print out all of your listings with the descriptions, because if you have to recreate your entire store or parts of your store to another website, you want to be able to just use the descriptions that you've already used and not have to rethink everything, because every website is different. Some websites require more of a description, like they need, a lot more details than eBay does to list. And just stay calm. But you definitely, I learned a lot. You definitely have to take a look at yourself and what you did, what you're doing. Look at your store. I also, one other thing that I did was I looked at my personal settings. I went to my personal settings, and what I saw is that my new seller email address had not been verified. Why? Probably because I just overlooked it in the grand scheme of things, because there's so many steps that you have to do. But I did verify that my new email address, and I've had that email address since February when I started, because I just created a whole new email address. But there are things that fall through the cracks. So it shook me up, but in a good way, because I've been a business owner for over 30 years, and I know that every business venture, every business venture is a hustle. Like, you got to understand the nooks and crannies, the idiosyncrasies, the ebb and the flow of how the game works. And if you get shook, and when you get shook, you got to say, okay, let me look at me. What did I do? What could I have done better? What is it showing me? What could I have done better? I should have closed my personal eBay account, or called eBay and said, hey, how do I change it to a selling account? I should have verified my email address. I should have had a list of all of every single product description already printed out. I should keep copies. I should have kept copies of that. And there are things that I will definitely change about my business, but I'm not going to have all my eggs in one basket. I'm definitely going to diversify. There's a ton of different platforms out there, that list perfectly. There's some other ones. It's just, you got to stay on top of the game. But that is my story, and I'm sticking to it. I appreciate your views on this. If you have any questions, I don't know the answers, but I could try if you want to ask me a question on, certain things. But I just went through the process. I tried to stay as calm as possible and not completely freak out. But I just rode out the storm. And, honey, I had my galoshes on, my umbrella, my rain hat. I had a rain jacket on. I had a poncho on, baby. I was riding out that thunderstorm, but my account is reactivated. So, and another thing too is, when they deactivate your account or restrict your account, any specials or any sales that you have going on your account are stopped when you go to relist, right? When you go to relist your account, once it gets unrestricted and you go to relist it, all of your sales are gone. But the eBay promotions pop up right away. They pop up immediately. So that's interesting to me. And, but anywho, I digress. I'm already 35 minutes into this video. I didn't want it to make it this long, but I wanted to kind of read the email verbatim just so you could, see what it says. And, that's it.